Hello Atomics, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be talking about the brand new Earth Healer Viella. I am loving her kit. I think it's awesome. I think it's fantastic. And I'm actually super excited to be back and doing content and videos again. Because I think I came back at a really good time. You know, coming into new devs, going into the 2.5 year anniversary, everything of the like. I'm honestly super pumped to get going with this and really explore what the game has to offer once again and seeing what new characters can help out with old content. Viella is honestly fantastic. I love her kit. I love her fit. I love just a lot about this character. I think she is phenomenal. I like her little story. I like the addition to her into the game. That being said, this is a character breakdown. If you guys haven't ever been here before and you guys are new to character breakdowns, the way character breakdowns work is essentially we take a character, we break down their skills, we go through their gear, we talk about their transcend stars, we talk about the gear that I am currently running with them and gear that you realistically could run with that character instead. If you guys want it in a more, readable format, check out the Discord Eva mains. Fantastic Discord. We get a lot of very smart, interesting people there that know a lot more about the game than I do, because I constantly have to go to them for help when I build characters. But they're always willing to help out, and they are fantastic people. But with that being said, let's get right into the breakdown. Jesus Christ, I can't talk. It just does not bode well for me when I have to do a lot of talking. Okay, Veilla's first skill, S1. Time for treatment. Attacks an enemy and heals the ally with the lowest health by 13%. If the target is poisoned, activates dual attack from the ally with the highest attack. So not only can you heal the lowest health, but you can also get a dual attack from the ally with the highest attack. It is kind of nice. Her S2, frail but deadly. So as the triggered effect, when hit, counterattacks with Venomous Charm. Upon counterattack, attacks all enemies with a 100% chance to inflict poison on the target for 2 turns. It ignores the resilience, which is nice. After the attack, heals 20% health to all allies and grants all allies a barrier for 2 turns. The barrier strength increases proportional to the target's max health. So the max health is equivalent to, or is based off of the character's health. Having the extra barrier, getting the poison on, which allows you to get dual attacks for time for treatment. Super helpful. And being able to ignore the resilience to guarantee that hit is also really, really nice. Her S3, Pain is Truth, dispels all debuffs from all allies and grants immunity for 3 turns. Then restores allies' health by 35%, also increases Earth allies' priority by 15%. So, that first line is super, super important. Dispels all debuffs from all allies and grants immunity for 3 turns. So she cleanses and does preventative, which is super nice, especially if you need any kind of help with Tyrant Toddler. So if you don't know, Tyrant Toddler at stage 12 and 13 immediately starts the fight by putting poisoned and I believe it's poisoned and bleeding debuffs onto you. And what we've been doing before is we've been using Diane, regular Diane, to cleanse immediately and then be able to go into it. But that makes Diane useless for the rest of the fight because her element is wrong. The nice part about Viella is that her element is correct on top of Tyrant Toddler also gives himself those debuffs, which, if you know, it's a poison debuff, which allows Viella to hit with the dual attacks, which is super, super helpful. It's like she was almost designed to help people beat Tyrant Toddler. Restoring their health by 35%, that is pretty good considering I believe the bleed damage and the poison damage roughly is, I believe it's like 40%. So being able to heal almost all of that up in a single turn is super huge. I love it a lot. She is a chain starter with Find Weakness, which is another amazing chain starter for PvE content, especially with bosses and stuff like that, that endgame content that we were talking about with Tyrant Toddler. And I feel like she could also be really good against the Ice Queen because you can remove that freeze debuff as well. The Ice Elf lady. I don't remember her fucking name. But then her dual attack effect, also after attacking, heals the ally with the lowest health by 13%. Can be really helpful to get some extra healing. I want to talk about her Transcend stars really quickly. So, because she has very, very interesting Transcend stars. Obviously, you'll get her at 3 stars. At 4 stars, she gets plus 5 ally team speed and some chain passive weakness gauge damage. Yes, we have another speed buffer. At 5 stars, we get burst level 3, and then at 6 stars, plus 5 ally team speed and plus 25 AP at the battle start. So we have another way to increase your speed by 10, anybody who wants to use her in PvP, or if you're just shy of being able to outspeed some of those bosses, like the light boss, the angel or whatever the fuck. If you're having a hard time beating her, you're maybe your Iota is just a little too slow. Maybe think about putting Viella on the team just for that little bit of a speed bump. I want to talk about her exclusive equipment. Mortician's Coffin increases max health of Earth allies by 30% and increases damage dealt by allies to targets afflicted with poison. So again, if you hit something with a poison, everybody on your team is going to do more damage to targets with poison. That is not Earth heroes or anything else like that. It just increases damage dealt by allies to targets afflicted with poison. I don't know the exact amount. Most of the time with numbers like these, it's about 15 to 20%. So I've kind of been operating under the assumption that it's around that margin. So I'm using Vanguard's Charm for her because if she's going to get hit with an AoE, realistically, that's what they're going to hit her with is AoEs, which is going to give her 60 AP, which is going to feed into her healing a little bit more. I gave her attack on this and HP on this because I wanted to increase the poison. I wanted to increase the poison that she does, but after testing it with these versus not those, I am going to be removing those and probably giving her something else. We'll probably end up giving her more health or maybe evasion. I'm not quite sure yet. But anyway, the part that you guys probably mostly care about is the gear. So we have a couple varying opinions on it. I built mine slightly different, of course, than anybody else did, and that's just because I like to be different. First off, we're going to talk about the weapon. I am using Royal Stinger for that extra healing right there. It heals the ally with the lowest health by 30% when using a burst skill. Realistically, you're going to be popping her burst 1 or burst 2 a lot of the time. I definitely thought about changing it, but then I got this roll with plus 18 speed, and I don't want to change it for anything ever again. But some of the other weapons you can consider is Legacy of the Dream and Emblem of Dominance. We're going to go check those out really fast. This is Royal Stinger. This is Emblem of Dominance, which is one of the ones you could do. 50% chance to increase the defense of all allies by 50% for 1 turn when using a burst skill. I believe that goes up to 100% once you max it out, but being able to increase defense can be quite helpful. Legacy of the Dream is 30% chance to reduce all skill cooldowns by 1 turn when using a basic attack. All she has is she has her S1 as a basic attack. Being able to reduce those skill cooldowns to be able to get your AoE healing and your immunity back up is quite helpful. Most of the time, though, when it comes to endgame bosses, that is very specific to me as a person because I've built up so many different units and I've maxed them out. I don't care about that because I just put Royal Stinger on it and I call it a day. I would recommend, if you are a new player and you are having a hard time with certain bosses and you are using her, Legacy of the Dream to get that skill back, or Emblem of Dominance if you need something to tank those hits a little bit better. That is what I would do if you are not able to basically secure killing the boss in a single phase. If you are not out healing the boss, those two are going to be your best. If you're going to be out healing the boss, I would say that the Royal Stinger might be better. The accessory is fairly universal. There are 2 options, Obsidian Oath and Resurrection Token, both focused on speed. Resurrection Token being able to have your healers come back to life once they die. Very, very helpful. However, like I said, if you are playing through the game and you are struggling with bosses, 100% that Resurrection Token is going to be your best friend. I did Obsidian Oath because I don't really have that problem, because in endgame content, either you kill them, you're able to basically stay at full health the entire time, or you die in 2 hits. So it doesn't really matter too much in endgame content with like world bosses and stuff like that, which is why I didn't really care. I like having the 100% chance to decrease the wielder's debuff durations when an enemy takes an action, because I've been using Viella in PvP, testing her out in PvP, and I really like Obsidian Oath being able to help hold off with like Gnosis Nella and stuff like that. she's been really helpful against dealing with Gnosis Nella, if I'm being totally honest, because she can outspeed her. At least from my knowledge, I've been outspeeding her, but it might also have to do with Viela's plus 10 and also these crazy. I'll show you. I have some really crazy speed rolls on this gear. Speed set has been kind of the go-to. Your stat priorities are as follows. You're mostly going to care about speed, then HP, then defense, then accuracy and attack are both kind of equal because poison is based off of your attack. Again, you're not really going to care too much about poison damage, but it is kind of nice. So if you notice, Helmet has 72% health onto it, which means the best you can get is flat health, like this. I got max speed on it. I got a good bit of attack. I got a good bit of evasion. The Etheric Gloves of Speed here, 96 accuracy, 240 defense. That's just the standard roll. But we got percentage of HP. We got 12 speed. We got 15% crit chance and 2% accuracy. I've been trying to roll that crit chance into percentage defense. Still no luck. We got flat defense for the chest plate, so we have 16% attack, 10% accuracy, 12% health, and 15% speed. Again, really, really, really nice set. I've been trying to roll the accuracy into defense. I've also been thinking about maybe switching from accuracy, switch to defense percent, and switching the attack to defense percent. Not quite sure yet. I don't think I've actually started rolling this one, have I? No, I haven't. I have not started to roll on this one. I probably will start switching the attack to try to see if I can get flat or percentage defense. Boots, we got flat evasion, percentage health, so you know what that means, we can get flat health. I didn't, of course, go for the flat health because I got 9 speed, 160 attack, 18 crit chance, and 6% accuracy. These are just some basic rolls that I got, but realistically, your goal should be on things like the helmet with percentage HP. You should have a high amount of HP, flat HP, some speed, defense, and accuracy, because you want to make sure you're hitting. For something with like this that doesn't have that, you want percentage health, you want a good amount of speed, and you're going to want some defense, and you're going to want some accuracy. My version of her is lacking some defense because a lot of the time I'm running damage mitigation units like Deidre or Hild, and so I don't a lot of the time need that damage mitigation, but it is still highly recommended for damage mitigation or having defense on some of these gear. That's why I'm going to probably start rolling this off of attack and into defense. I'm actually, if I could do that, I would do that right now. So far, I really like her kit. What I will say is, internet. There we go. Internet's been playing tricks on me all day today. What I would say is in PvE content in which you need a Earth healer, I would say she's doing a phenomenal job with Tyrant Toddler and the Ice Queen. Anything that you'd need a regular healer for, unfortunately, Maeva is still probably regarded as better. Maeva or Nella kind of do her job a little bit better. But there are a couple of niche circumstances in which I have switched to Viella, specifically against a opposing element boss, so a lighter dark element boss I have been using Viella for, just because that way you don't have that element disadvantage for it. And she also does a great job on cleansing, which is also good against anything that you need immediate cleanse for, like Tyrant Toddler or the Ice Queen. That is typically where you'll see more of that immediate cleanse being needed. But you can also use her for the Calamari boss. The Calamari boss does a very good job of layering you with debuffs. But it's honestly more important to strip the buffs that the boss has than cleanse your own debuffs, which is why I haven't used her for that very often. In PvP standings, she has come in clutch every once in a while. For the most part, though, I would just say she is a PvE unit through and through. If you are needing any additional help with, like, Tyrant Toddler or the Ice Queen, I would theoretically just say you probably 4-star is probably as high as you need to get her if you really care, just for that extra stat bonuses, and it's 1 copy. If you want to go a little bit hard and get the burst 3, 5 stars is totally fine. You do not need 6 stars for any PvE content whatsoever. I just did 6 stars because I'm a little tryhard. Plus, I can also tell you that 6 stars is not worth it after getting it myself. Excuse me. That being said, I would say that she is fairly good. I believe the community, if I remember correctly, let me double check. I'm just going to double check really quickly because I believe the community has agreed that Viella is high A tier, I believe is kind of what we have decided, kind of as a community. Just because I don't know, I can't find it right now. I don't know why I can't find it right now. Oh, there it is. Hold on, give me 1 second. So in PvE, she is currently sitting unranked. She has not been put onto the tier list yet. We might have just been talking about it. Honestly, I think for PvE, Viella does kind of belong in a S tier. I believe she does fall into S tier or high A tier, worst case scenario. For PvP, I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I'm going to tell you flat out, I do not believe she is all that great in PvP. She does have her niche. Setting. The only downside is in PvP, she does tend to get dumpstered really fast if you're not careful. That's my only complaint. That's my only complaint about her. In PvP, she gets dumpstered really fast if you're playing against unfortunate teams. So as long as you just switch her out and switch her in for what you actually need her for, you're fine. But that takes a lot of time of fundamental understanding, which, especially for new players, they don't have that just yet. So I would still recommend just, holding W with, D Luna, basically. And not worry about Viella too much. That being said, overall, great character. Like I said, I would do high A, low S in PvE. PvP, I would say she probably falls around a C, a high C, low B. She does have her uses. She does have her niche. The problem is that with D Luna running around, it makes every other character kind of look like garbage. With that being said, I appreciate you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something. Leave me a comment down below if you're excited for my return. Let me know if you want me to go over any other characters or anything else. I will be doing a video on Fran now that I've pulled her since I've come back, but I have to do a breakdown of her myself so I can understand how her kit works and test her out. So I will be doing that, and I'll be working on that video very, very shortly. Viella, I just got really excited for, which is why I got her to 6 stars already, and I was just waiting for Fran to come into the banner, which I think she came into the banner just a couple days ago, I would say. So regardless, thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you guys in the next one. Have a fantastic rest of your day. If you liked the video, please hit me with that like, the subscribe button, leave a comment. Let me know that you guys are happy. You guys are excited for the 2.5 year anniversary. Go Major 9. Glad to see them taking over and stepping up and holding this game's hand any more than they already have. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.